Social Studies. 4. Living longer and healthier lives. 4. Living longer and healthier lives. In this chapter, we will learn about medical instruments, surgery, wonder machines, preventing diseases, basic healthcare, and do MCQs, fill in the blanks. WH questions. Do activities. Hone our life skills. Lifespan of human beings in modern times is longer than it used to be before. New medical techniques have reduced the pain and suffering caused by diseases. They have made human beings healthier than before. Many deadly diseases have been brought under control. Many types of instruments and machines have been developed to help in fighting diseases. We have also learned to prevent diseases. Prevention is always better than cure, isn't it? Medical instruments. The clinical thermometer. An instrument to measure the temperature of our body is called the clinical thermometer. It measures the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit scale, degree Fahrenheit, or Celsius scale. A normal human body has a temperature of 98.4 degree Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius. When the body temperature goes above this level, we say we have a fever. To measure the temperature of the body, a thermometer is placed in the mouth or armpit of the patient. Knowing the intensity of fever helps the doctor in treating the patient. The clinical thermometer was developed by Gabriel Daniel Fahrenheit in AD 1715. A scale is marked on the thermometer in degrees Fahrenheit. It ranges from 95 degrees Fahrenheit to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Some thermometers show both the Fahrenheit and Celsius scale. The stethoscope. The stethoscope is an instrument that makes it possible for a doctor to hear a patient's heartbeat and breathing. How the stethoscope was invented is an interesting story. One day, one doctor, René Lennox, saw two children playing with a hollow log. When one child whispered a message at one end of the log, the other child heard it at the other end. This gave the doctor an idea. He rolled his papers like a long tube and put it on his patient's chest. To his surprise, the heartbeat of the patient was heard more clearly. Stethoscopes today are far more sensitive than a mere paper tube. It helps the doctor to find out whether the heart and lungs of a patient are functioning normally or not. The microscope. The microscope is an instrument which magnifies small objects. It makes it possible for doctors and scientists to see things that are not visible to the naked eye. The invention of the microscope is not the work of one man. Once the owner of an optician's shop in Holland happened to look at a fly through two lenses placed one behind the other. He was surprised to see how big the fly looked. He used this observation to invent the flea glass, which could magnify things. The flea glass became very popular in Europe. Galileo learned about this invention and improved on it. He used two lenses to make an early version of the microscope. Over the years, improved versions of the microscope were made. Its use helped in the fight against diseases. The cause of various diseases could now be known. Over the years, scientists were able to identify the germs that cause diseases. Finding the causes made it easier to find methods of curing them. New machines. Scientists and doctors all over the world are working hard to develop new machines to find out the cause of disease. The X-ray, ultrasound, and CAT scan machines have been developed. These machines help doctors to find out the condition of every organ in our body. These machines also help in surgery. Activity. Write the full forms of following. Surgery. Surgery is an operation in which the body is cut open to repair a part or cure a disease or injury. A doctor who performs surgery is called a surgeon. Surgeons use many instruments and medicines. Today, any damaged part of the body, like the kidneys or the heart, is removed by operation and replaced by a healthy one. Delicate operations of the brain are also done. Thus, surgery helps us to live longer than our ancestors. Wonder machines. In the old days, people did not know the cause of diseases. Since they were superstitious, they thought that diseases were caused by God or nature. But medical science developed and superstitions and blind faith gave way to medicines. Many effective medicines are discovered and used successfully. Chloroform. Chloroform was the first medicine to be effectively used in anesthesia. Before its discovery, patients suffered immense pain during surgery. Now, surgeries are performed after giving anesthesia to the patient. James Simpson introduced the use of chloroform in medicine. Inhaling chloroform makes a person unconscious and thus he feels no pain. A number of modern drugs are used in anesthesia today. Penicillin. Sir Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin in 1928. It was a great landmark in the field of medicine and it helped to check infections. Penicillin is an antibiotic. With the discovery of antibiotics, diseases like malaria, cholera, plague, and tuberculosis are being cured. Preventing diseases. Vaccination. Nearly 200 years ago, smallpox was a dreaded infectious disease affecting mostly the children. Those who survived its attack often lost their eyesight or got ugly scars on their face and body. Edward Jenner, a doctor in a small town in England, found that milkmaids generally did not suffer from smallpox. Rather, they suffered from a disease called cowpox. Cowpox was a similar disease and lasted 2 to 3 days only. But after this, they never suffered from smallpox. He wanted to make sure whether there was any relation between the two diseases. One day, a milkmaid named Sarah Names came to him for treatment of cowpox. A pus-like liquid was oozing out of her sores. He collected it on a small needle and inserted it into the body of a boy named Pip. He kept the boy under observation. Pip suffered from cowpox and recovered from it in 2 days. Now Jenner wanted to confirm if Pip could be free from smallpox all his life. After a lot of hesitation, he decided to take the risk and injected Pip with germs of smallpox and observed. It confirmed that people who once suffered from cowpox become free from smallpox. It led to the development of anti-smallpox vaccine, which has led to the eradication of smallpox. After this discovery, vaccines for various dreaded diseases like tuberculosis, cholera, plague, tetanus, polio, whooping cough, etc. were developed by different doctors. The credit for this goes to Jenner. Injections and vaccinations have helped to make our bodies healthier. Pasteurization. Louis Pasteur, a French scientist, extended the work on vaccines. He discovered that germs are killed by heat. He found out that if milk is heated for half an hour at a certain temperature and then cooled, the germs in it are killed. This process is called pasteurization. Pasteurized milk is available today in sachets. Such milk is free from germs and it cannot spread any disease. Antiseptics. About 1500 years ago, any wound got infected with germs which resulted in death. Working on Pasteur's finding that germs were present in the air, an English surgeon, Joseph Lister, devised a system of antiseptic. He used carbolic sprays in operation theatres to reduce the spread of germs. He wanted the sterilization of surgical instruments and the use of gloves and masks by surgeons. He discovered the first antiseptic. Antiseptics are used to disinfect wounds and surgical instruments. Basic healthcare. Some simple and cheap ways of preventing diseases are: we must take care of our personal cleanliness and keep our surroundings clean. We must eat fresh, clean and nutritive food and drink clean, germ-free water. Regular physical exercise is important to build up resistance against diseases. We must take advantage of these programs to prevent the spread of epidemics. Dispensaries and health centers must be opened to take care of our health. New words. Antibiotics, substance that destroy germs, bacteria. Vaccination, an injection to prevent a healthy person from getting a disease. Pasteurization, process of heating a liquid like milk to a certain temperature and then chilling it to kill germs. Anesthesia, absence of sensation. Sterilization, method of making something free from germs. Recap. New medical techniques have reduced much of the pain and suffering caused by diseases. An instrument to measure the temperature of our body is called a clinical thermometer. A stethoscope is an instrument that makes it possible for a doctor to hear a person's heartbeat and breathing. A microscope is an instrument which magnifies tiny objects. It makes it possible for doctors and scientists to see things that are not visible to the naked eye. The X-ray, ultrasound and CAT or CT scan machines have been developed. Surgery is an operation in which the body is cut open to repair a part or cure a disease or injury. Vaccines for diseases like tuberculosis, cholera, plague, tetanus, polio, whooping cough, etc. were developed by different doctors. Antiseptics are used to disinfect wounds and surgical instruments.